You ever have one of those days where you realize you're just an extra in somebody else's disaster movie? Yeah, that was me. The day the police sirens screamed down my street, racing straight toward my driveway, thanks to Karen detonating the nuclear option she'd been threatening for weeks. And the absolute kicker? All I'd done was close my own garage door. The same door I'd shut 1,000 times. But in Karen's world, this time, it was apparently a national security incident, a suspicious man sealing a bunker. So she called 911, shrieking bloody murder, and now here I was, standing on my own property while officers bailed out of their cars with hands on their holsters, barking commands like I just robbed Fort Knox. And let me tell you, the only thing funnier than their confusion was the fact that not a soul on that street, not Karen, not the cops, had the faintest idea I wasn't just some poor sap fed up with HOA nonsense. I was, well, let's say, the kind of guy who'd been the boss of things a lot bigger than a neighborhood watch. You know what I mean? And there's Karen, standing behind the cops, all but vibrating with joy, convinced she's finally cornered me, like she's about to win some imaginary war. Meanwhile, I'm biting my tongue to keep from laughing at the insanity of being treated like a trespasser in my own driveway. The garage door, smooth as ever, keeps closing behind me, almost mocking everyone for showing up a few minutes too late for Karen's fantasy crime. The police are confused, radios crackling, trying to make sense of the circus they just rolled into, while Karen's yelling that I'm dangerous, that she's been warning them about my type for months. Whatever that means. One officer gives her this look like, "Lady, what exactly did you drag me out here for?" I take a slow breath, remind myself not to blow my cover, and start moving, nice and slow, just so Karen can really soak in her moment of power. But I'm also sizing everyone up, because, let's be real, people who get themselves in trouble around here usually have no idea what real trouble looks like. The garage door finally clicks shut, a soft, final sound that just sends Karen over the edge. She points at the door like she's just filmed Bigfoot, insisting it's proof I'm hiding something dangerous inside. If I'd asked her if she thought I had a submarine in there, I probably would have gotten an honest answer. But I just hand over my ID. The officer checking it blinks twice, eyebrows up, and there's this flicker in his eyes. You know, the kind of recognition you only get from someone who's heard rumors, the sort of rumors people don't talk about in the daylight. He hands my ID back with a little nod, tone shifting instantly from tough cop to I want nothing to do with this mess. But Karen, of course, is still shouting that they need to search my garage right now. The cops exchange that exhausted, silent look people get when they've had just about enough suburban drama for one lifetime. One finally turns to Karen and says, as gently as possible, that closing your own garage isn't actually a crime. She cranks up the volume, insisting I was running illegal machinery. Her evidence? The sound of my electric leaf blower. She's turned landscaping into a bomb factory in her head. Finally, I hit the garage door remote just for show. The door goes up, dramatic as a curtain at a play, revealing nothing but my tools, a spotless workbench, and my sailboat gear neatly hung up. The look on Karen's face as the air escapes her balloon? Priceless. The officers relax. One almost cracks a smile, and Karen's voice cracks as she tries to convince everyone I'd moved the evidence. She starts pointing at random objects. Maybe it's that. But by now, I'm just playing along, planning my next move. So I ask the cops, all polite, if I can get back to closing my garage now. They nod, practically running for their cars, and Karen's left standing there alone, glowering at me with a hatred only found in folks who just got their power cut mid-sentence. I meet her glare, calm as ever, which somehow spooks her more than if I'd raised my voice. Truth is, she has no idea the most dangerous thing in that garage was the person she was looking at. That second garage door drop? That's when Karen accidentally set in motion the worst day her HOA ever had. She spent the rest of the afternoon pacing out front, trying to act like she wasn't watching me while calling every board member she could, giving them a play-by-play of her heroic moment. Meanwhile, her husband comes out, rubs his temples, mutters something that makes her stomp her foot like a toddler, then goes right back inside. It's a one-woman show. Inside, I'm already plotting. Nothing illegal, just something that'll finally put an end to her crusade. That evening, My crew shows up for a meeting in that same infamous garage, and Karen's watching through her curtains like I'm running a crime ring out of a flower pot. At one point, she's crouched in the hydrangeas with binoculars and a notepad, channeling her inner undercover agent. My guys try not to laugh, but a couple can't help it. We're talking legitimate business, but I keep it all extra boring just for her. That's the real power move in suburbia. Later, we spot Karen peeking again, scribbling in her notebook, totally unaware she's writing her own downfall. See, I'd had one of my guys pull public HOA records. Turns out Karen's been bleeding the budget dry, buying herself gadgets with security money, drones, surveillance toys, you name it. She handed me the rope, and all I had to do was let her hang herself with it. The next day, Karen's blind snap opened the second I opened my garage. She's instantly glued to her window, convinced she's about to uncover the next Watergate. Then she storms out, files a complaint, claims I'm hosting unauthorized visitors and planning something, all because a few friends came by to talk about sailing. I ask what rule I've broken. She says it's implied. I remind her nothing in the bylaws forbids having friends. She says she has video evidence, which I tell her might actually get her in trouble for filming my property. That afternoon, I take a walk. A few neighbors are polite, some avoid eye contact, but most are whispering about the commotion. One old-timer tells me Karen called him the night before, swearing I'm a threat. He laughs it off, says he's sorry in advance for whatever chaos she brings to the HOA meeting. I assure him everything will be handled, and I'm not lying. By 4, the clubhouse is packed with residents, the board, and Karen at the front, straightening chairs, shuffling papers, like she's about to argue a Supreme Court case. She launches into her accusations, pacing and waving her arms, showing everyone her blurry phone videos, clips of my friends arriving, taken from behind her curtains. It's so weird, people start wondering if she's a stalker. The HOA president asks if there's any evidence of wrongdoing. Karen admits no, but insists my friends look dangerous. The room collectively sighs. While I'm allowed to speak, I keep my voice level, explain they're just old friend from the sailing club. Makes sense, more than anything Karen said. She tries to interrupt, knocks her own folder off the table, papers everywhere. It's tragic comedy. I quietly slide the HOA records across the table. Since we're talking safety, I say, maybe we should check these recent financial inconsistencies. Suddenly, the whole room leans in. The president starts reading, and as he hits the part about Karen's security enhancements, which includes a high-res drone and neighborhood watch gear for herself, the whispers start swirling. Residents ask why HOA money bought Karen's personal gadgets. A neighbor stands up about a fake fine she was charged, and more join in. The meeting flips. Now Karen's on the defensive, her confidence cracking, her voice shrill. 15 minutes later, the board announces, Karen suspended, pending a formal audit. The neighborhood breathes for the first time in years. Karen storms out, raging about conspiracies and cover-ups. People come up to apologize for believing her wild stories. I tell them it's over, but in truth, I know it's just getting interesting. The next morning, Karen's pacing the lawn, barking into a walkie-talkie, her self-appointed patrol dissolved. She's watching me, but I barely give her the time of day. She accuses me of hacking the records, insists she'll get me removed. I tell her it was public information, nothing sneaky about it. That stuns her. She's rattled. She thought she was playing chess, but she brought checkers. Later that day, she runs out with new evidence, a blurry photo of my tattoo, snapped through a window. She asks what it means. I tell her, come as you please, it's just a family emblem. She tries to bait me, starts shouting about criminal organizations. The neighbors finally tune her out. And if there's anything Karen hates more than being challenged, it's being ignored. But she's not done. That night, she sneaks around in black, spying and muttering. I file the paperwork to make the HOA audit official, attach more documents my crew finds. The net is closing. Around sunset, she storms over, accuses me of ruining her life, and, unprompted, admits out loud to misusing funds and spying, right where the whole block can hear. Silence falls. She realizes her mistake too late. I walk away. She's done. Next morning, the air feels lighter, neighbors whispering at the ends of their driveways, eyes flicking toward Karen's house. For the first time, she's actually quiet. Later, I see her sneaking to her car with her binder, looking like she's prepping for a last stand. She disappears, then comes back frantic, trying to sell her conspiracy to anyone who'll listen, binder full of diagrams about my operations center. It's so off the rails, I nearly laugh. Residents push back, finally. One asks if she has evidence that isn't drawn in marker. She threatens to take it to the county, the state, the feds, whatever. I just tell her, be my guest. She falters, then stumbles away. That night, the HOA officially bars her from any decisions, and people gather in their living rooms to talk about the fall of Karen. Only her house stays dark, a lone lamp burning inside. But see, the story's not over. Karen reappears, sunglasses on, carrying her binder like a shield, moving quiet as a ghost. She finally approaches me. Not loud, not venomous, but desperate. She asks if we can talk, just us. We step aside, and she shows me a photo she took late one night. Me, stepping into a black car with my crew. She asks who I really am. For the first time, she's not trying to destroy me. She's trying to understand something bigger than her. I tell her I run a confidential business, nothing illegal. She wants to believe me, but the fear in her eyes says she doesn't know how. She begs to see the garage. Her curiosity swallowed up her anger. But before I can respond, her husband appears, begs her to stop before she wrecks them both. She sags, whispering she just needs one more day. I tell her husband she isn't crazy, just overwhelmed by things she never had to carry alone. She softens, steps away, and for the first time, I see her teetering on the edge of surrender. 2 days go by. The neighborhood breathes easy, but I keep an eye on her house. She's pacing, scribbling, unraveling. On the third night, I hear her at my gate with a lockpick set, fumbling in the dark. She's desperate, muttering about needing answers. I let her struggle until the tool snaps, then step out so she can hear my footsteps. She startles, tries to apologize, but she's shaking. I ask why she's breaking in. She confesses. She just wants proof she's not losing her mind. Tears slip down, her armor breaking. I open the gate, let her see the garage. She searches everywhere, finds nothing, whispers an apology, but I can see she's not done. She's planning her last move. Next day, Karen moves with eerie calm, polite to neighbors, binder tucked away, almost peaceful. But I know that look. It's the look of someone committed to their final gamble. She leaves when the neighborhood's quiet, and for the first time, I worry. I check the cameras, nothing. At noon, my guy calls. Karen's at the county office, pushing her binder, demanding someone investigate the criminal operation. She returns, rejected, angrier than ever. That evening, she comes to me, desperate, holding out a device, a recorder. She says it's captured something real, threatens to play it for everyone if I don't come see. I go along because if she's got anything, I need to know. She leads me to an abandoned shed, plays the tape. It's 2 of my men, talking coded business. Nothing illegal, but enough to feed her worst fears. She freezes, terrified. She hands me the device, sobbing. She's finally realized she's not the hero. I tell her it's over, walk her back, and her husband meets her, hugging her as she cries. I dismantle the device that night. Nobody else needs to know how close Karen came to something real. From that day, Karen's done. No more patrols, no more complaints, no more 911 calls. She walks quietly, head down, never bothering anyone. Every time she passes me, she lowers her eyes, not out of fear, but respect. She finally understands. Sometimes, the person you're hunting is the one keeping your world safer than you ever knew. So let me ask you this. When does justice stop being about punishment and start being about mercy? And who really protects a community? The one who barks the loudest, or the one who handles what no one else sees? Drop your answer down below. Tell me your own stories of justice. Right? Wrong? Or just plain crazy? I have a feeling this won't be the last time a garage door sets off a neighborhood revolution.